All right, guys. So I've seen little clips of the Piers Morgan deal that they're going to be covering, but not the whole thing. And from what I've been able to gather, it's uh, hilariously taken out of context, and especially corporate media is really trying to spin a narrative here. So I figured it would be fun. I haven't seen this video to just watch the most fake news in America. That would be Fox News. And let's see let's see their take. Should be good.
There's been a stark difference in public and media reaction to the murder of United Healthcare CEO in the Daniel Penny trial. Now, Daniel Penny has been vilified leading up to and after his not guilty verdict. We saw disturbing posters plastered on New York City subway cars referring to the incident as a lynching. Al Sharpton called the verdict, quote, blatant legalization of civilian vigilantism. And CNN also called Penny a vigilante.
Later in the night, we're also going to talk about Penny and the verdict there. Mm-hmm. There you also have a victim who somebody determined did not deserve to continue living, right?
No.
Yeah, tell me which vigilante action is okay.
One is being proactive, right? So this kid who executed someone.
Founder of Black Lives Matter of Greater New York is now calling for Black vigilantes.
Just like everybody else seeks justice on their own, just like everybody else has vigilantes, we need some Black vigilantes.
That's right.
The only time they cover shit is to try to do like a false comparison. Like it's always like a backdrop of like white nationalist racist shit. Like they're trying to like make it as if it's not, like they're trying to take the whole fucking Luigi deal with the United Healthcare CEO and then show this as if it's like this extreme fucking crazy, like the way they covered the fucking Black Lives Matter shit. They like lied about everything and made it seem like they're a bunch of like looting pillagers and they're just getting violent and destroying shit and all that. Like highly exaggerated. It seems like this is the same deal, but let's see.
Right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
But wait for it. The man accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is seen by some as a folk hero. New Yorkers celebrated the suspect with a look-alike contest shortly after the murder. Former Washington Post reporter, you won't believe this, Taylor Lorenz, called Thompson's murder joyful.
How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's been gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that he's murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people.
Should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
Well, why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think because it wouldn't fix.
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question
A
funny.
bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
In the Washington Post at one,
they specifically cut out a lot of this. I've seen. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw a lot more, and they've completely taken this out of context. And I didn't even know who Taylor Lorenz was before this. Someone in my chat comments said that my take is the same as hers, whatever. And it pretty much is. She's right. I mean, she's spot on. She's laughing, and she actually corrected him because fucking Piers Morgan is such a lying piece of shit. He does it on purpose, and like his entire show is about trying to like create this big fight and shit, and he'll like purposefully try to like straw man people's argument and shit just to get them fired up, because that's what his ratings is based on. It's retarded. But anyway, she specifically goes on to say that she's happy because it's drawing attention to this massive problem that no one talks about, and now it's being talked about. But then he kept on, even while she was right there correcting him. He's like, "Oh, but you said you're happy. Oh, but you said you're joyous or whatever." Like such a retard. And the blonde woman, they didn't cover her. She's from Fox News. The blonde woman in that same panel, her like absolute retarded take, like it's hilarious. You should watch the actual thing. I don't know. Maybe they'll pop it in and show her so you could see how fucking like stupid this woman is.
Point had that woman on payroll. She's no longer there. It's not a funny, laughing matter. And the Pennsylvania governor, Josh Shapiro, doesn't think so either.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning. This killer was not a hero. He should not be hailed.
By the way, just to get over this whole narrative as well, a vast majority of the entire American population feels exactly the same as Taylor Lorenz here. Like, if you've been fooled by this, like I've seen some of you, you'll watch like Ben Shapiro and you're like, yeah, that's right. Like, you don't even have a fucking brain. You're so stupid. Like, Ben Shapiro doesn't even believe the shit that he says. It's all fucking corporate lies, and you fucking fall for it like a retard. It's not a left issue. It's the entire fucking United States on the whole, big picture, a vast majority had the exact same reaction. It's been a celebratory thing at the death of that fucking piece of shit. And that's who he is. So as Taylor Lorenz points out, you're trying to like, oh, like taking the life of a person. It's like human life is so precious and all this shit that like, but they completely neglect to point out that this person is responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans every single year. And just because you're not actually pulling the trigger does not mean that you didn't kill people. So it's hilarious that people are pulling this fucking retarded shit.
The hero is indeed the McDonald's worker. I thought to myself, would I be able to recognize this individual? And I thought,
another thing, the McDonald's worker more than likely didn't like see that it was this massive, like, oh, this guy's evil or whatever. There was a freaking reward. There's at least 2 rewards that I knew of. And I think the FBI had one and the other was the New York Police Department. And that's more than likely why the McDonald's employee actually called, because they wanted that money. So it's mainly because I don't know the person, but that's more likely the case than not. And yeah, it's funny. They're trying to make that person a fucking hero as if they fucking dispensed justice when they probably are just fucking extremely poverty stricken and needed the money.
no, but this brilliant McDonald's worker did. And Emily, here's what he got in return, he or she. This was the Reddit responses that were written: to the stupid bleep that ratted out my baby Luigi Manangino, you will be dealt with. Out of solidarity, I will be boycotting all McDonald's in the area. I would suggest you consider doing the same. That McDonald's worker should get Employee of the Year and should be very proud of him or herself.
That's right. I think the way to deal with this detritus is to not give it oxygen. I think, unfortunately, there's always going to be a rash of extreme viewpoints. And unfortunately, it's fostered and fomented by social media, including the manifesto by the alleged suspect, right? So the antidote to that, don't give it oxygen. Don't publish it. Continue showing Brian Thompson's face, not the murder suspect. Say Brian Thompson's name, not the murder suspect. And to those platforms that still employ these journalists, that's the thing we talk about often, that when you give oxygen to these extremist views, when they choose to publish it, that is feeding into it, and it's only for profit. And I point out, too, I think it's as a side note,
these people are so fucking fake. Like, you have to be out of touch with reality to believe this shit. Like, these people are just actors. They're just fucking saying what they're told to say from Fox News, the fakest fucking news in the country. And it's hilarious. They're pushing this narrative still that, like, this is fringe, just like Ben Shapiro said. I believe it was Ben Shapiro. Josh Shapiro, something like that. The clip that they just fucking had of the dude saying that it's like this fringe group, the dark side or whatever. This is everyone, dumb fucks. Everyone's fucking excited and happy and fucking celebratory over this. Now, we're all happy for different reasons. Some people are more like Taylor Lawrence, and where she corrected that it's more mainly because the issues being talked about. And I feel the same, but I'm also, I mean, let's be just straight up clear. Like, I do not believe that there's such thing as a bad thing happening to a bad person. What I mean by that is if you're an evil piece of shit and you're taken out of this world, it's a net positive for the rest of the world. I don't care. They do this fucking like stupid fallacious tactic to where they're like, this man was a husband and had children. So are all the people that he fucking murdered. And again, just because he fucking didn't pull a trigger doesn't mean anything. He's freaking wearing a tie and suit, but he's still a fucking killer. And this is just retarded reporting.
For the fact that instantly social media always identifies the Karen, go to work internet, tell me who this person was and their lives are ruined. I'm surprised it actually took so many days to identify this person who had multiple degrees and went to UPenn and had this wealthy family and a lawmaker cousin. I'm really shocked that it took the good work of a good Samaritan McDonald's worker instead of the internet who knew this guy to begin with.
Very perceptive. I mean, sometimes I can't even tell if my husband got a haircut. There's no way I could identify a criminal. That person is pretty brilliant. I want to go back to Daniel Penny for a moment. And Paul, this is what the NAACP decided to post. The NAACP said the acquittal of Daniel Penny and the death of Jordan Neely has effectively given license for vigilante justice to be waged on the Black community without consequence. It's a painful reminder of the inequities in our justice system. Jordan deserved compassion. Instead, he was met with violence. And it goes on. I just want to lay out some facts. Jordan Neely was arrested 42 times. There was a Black civilian who helped Daniel Penny to subdue a man who was threatening to kill everyone on the subway. A Black woman afterwards called him a hero, thanked him, spoke to FoxNews.com. He is a hero. It was self-defense. I believe in my heart. He saved a lot of people that day and people who could have gotten hurt. These are facts. Why does the NAACP leave them out?
Right, you're expecting facts to matter here, huh? You're a person of faith. So anyway.
You're doing the exact same thing, you dumb fucks. You're covering a very specific points in this, and it's not a fucking coincidence that you're covering the Penny deal here and you're lumping it together with the fucking United Healthcare thing. Like, it's intentional. Like, fucking white nationalist dumbasses. It's fucking hilarious. And then you'll like try to act as if it's racism the other way around. Like. It's fucking hilarious.
All right, let's look at a couple of things. Number one, the majority of the people that were on that train car that he stepped up for were people of color. He's the hardest target on that car. He's a young, big guy. Marine, he's in shape. Easiest thing for him would have been to just stare at his phone and let it happen. According to the reporting, Neely was moving towards a mother and child, right? The Hispanic woman said she almost passed out. She was so scared. What if he didn't act and something happened? Would he not be vilified by the same characters? Number two, the CNN anchor, she should lawyer up because she just imputed to Daniel Penny the intent to commit a homicide on the air. Nice job. That's not even what he was charged with, okay? So she's way out of line and she should wise up. And let's just remember something. Does anybody think here, and this to me is the real metric, does anybody think that if Jordan Neely had done everything he did and was a white guy, Daniel Penny wouldn't have reacted?
No.
Nobody wants to see Jordan Neely dead, but that doesn't mean that Daniel Penny should go to jail for it.
You raised so many good points, and I hope he is able to go after these people who have defamed him. The New Yorker, and I'm summarizing here, I shared it yesterday, said, subway dancer strangled by Marine. That's what they said before the verdict was out. I hope Daniel Penny gets some form of accountability here.
And, to the person on CNN who apparently can't tell the difference between the cold-blooded execution, someone who was shot in the back on the streets of New York, and Daniel Penny protecting occupants of the train car from someone who said that he wanted to harm people on that train car, you are the threat to society, not Daniel Penny. You are the threat. And it really is.
You dumb fucks. Like, you're doing the same thing Ben Shapiro did. You're losing your own fucking base. That now people on Fox News are going to react the exact same way that people in the right wingers reacted to Ben Shapiro's video in his own comments. Because you're fucking stupid. You're so out of touch. You guys are like fucking celebrities and shit. You don't know anything about reality. You just get news and you fucking spin it because that's what you're told to do. But it shows that you're fucking retarded because you're spinning this narrative, and the right feel exactly the fucking same way as the left here. This is a united front. You fucking idiots. Like, no one's buying this fucking corporate hack shit that you're and this poor man who was shot in the back and you're trying to do a comparison of the two. It's fucking hilarious. You guys are such fucking morons.
Telling. I'm actually worried here specifically about the moral confusion of Alvin Bragg, because now that charges have been brought, he's going to be the one assigned to prosecuting this case against the suspect, Luigi Mangione. We know that he is one of those people who apparently can't tell the difference between right and wrong. And I hope, again, that the New Yorkers step up and do what needs to be done, regardless of what Alvin Bragg decides.
Is he going to prosecute against any of these threats?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
prove to us that you're actually, you know, it's all colorblind.
Marie, do you have faith in Mr. Bragg?
I do, actually.
Oh,
Look, I think that for many people, we don't think that he should have done nothing on the train. It's whether he could have subdued the threat without ending this life.
And the jury determined
And he didn't.
indeed.
I was
And he
going-
didn't end his life. He was breathing after the
I
interaction.
just took a breath. I was going to say there was a legal process. There will also be a civil case that is brought as well. So we will see how that plays out. And to your first point you made, I hope that McDonald's employee doesn't just get Employee of the Year, gets the reward that had been put out for finding him.
That
would be an even better way.
I wanted Donald J. Trump to get McDonald's Employee of the Year until this guy came about. So
we disagree
All
on
right.
that, but on the second part, we agree.
You can just tell that she's like lying through her teeth. She like it's like her fucking boss is like, make sure that you throw in like a positive spin about Donald Trump. She's like, okay, I'll do it. It's like all fucking scripted. It's hilarious. She's so fake. Like you can tell just by looking at her fucking face. Like this is an actor. Like none of what she says she actually believes. Like the fucking cameras go off and then they go back to being their normal like douchebag selves.
Agree.
All right, fine, fair enough.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page.
I don't know this woman, but she is one of the lowest IQ fucking news anchors in the entire country. Like she is absolutely a fucking moron. Like she'll use like she only frames things emotionally and tries to like take people out of fucking completely takes their entire shit out of context on purpose. And like I feel bad for you if you ever fall for that shit. So retarded. But anyhow, that was that. It was pretty funny. Yeah. It was even more hilarious that they tried to tie it into the fucking other case. And honestly, the Penny deal, I don't know a ton about, but you don't need to because you see what they're trying to do here. It's fucking hilarious. Like how many retards fall for this shit?